I'm going to have to tilt this up just a little. All right. Good morning and welcome to this morning's Wuxing, Long Pai, Qigong, TaoYin, Taijiquan, and Baguazhang. My name is Jeff Cote, and I am the Occidental Taoist. As you probably noticed, we have taken a hiatus, or I had taken a hiatus. I was required to do so from my financial circumstances. I had to take another job. And I was working with the post office, or I am working with the post office, and I had to go through a whole bunch of orientation and training, and it was basically full time for a few weeks. It's the first day I've had off in like 3 weeks is today. So I thought immediately I should share some Tai Chi, Bagua, because I have not in a while. And you know, I miss sharing this with you guys, getting the extra practices during the day of the fundamentals. You know, I practice every day and every evening on my own anyways. But getting these extra practices in with my classes and with these live streams is very valuable for me. You know, the more often I practice, the better my body feels, and the better I begin to understand the principles more and more. And I hope that you will as well. In that vein, today, I'm going to be doing a little bit more TaoYin than we've done in the past. And the reason is because it's been very cold, and I've been working out in the cold a lot, even including that snow day. And I have to tell you, I want to take a little digression here. I have to tell you, I had a lot of respect for postal workers before I started working for the post office. Now that I've been working with them, I have even more. The amount of work that these people do, myself included now, is tremendous. And I hope you appreciate them and support them. Because I'll tell you what they accomplish with the efforts and what it costs us to utilize their services is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So that was my shameless plug for the post office. And anyways, as I said, because I've been working out in the cold and not getting as much practice as I'm accustomed to, which, you know, having these extra practices puts me to 3 to 4, sometimes 5 hours in a day of practice. And I got to tell you, when you even scale back from that to like 1 to 2 hours, I notice a difference. Some things wanted to tighten up, especially when you're doing different kind of work too. So what I'm going to show you is a routine. It's going to be valuable for you when you suddenly have to ramp up your work, or you've had to take a hiatus from your practice, or your practice has had to diminish for a little while. And this will kind of open everything back up and get the whole body a little bit back in line with where you were quicker. TaoYin is incredible for this. And that's because it's sort of a mixture between Qigong and like yoga, because there's an active physical component. So we're going to be activating tissues, creating a sort of isometric expansion to things. As we work. And we're still working with our fundamental principles from Qigong, the coordination of the breath, the body, and the mind, right? But now the body regulation is going to add a little bit more Li, which is muscular strength activity, but not a lot. I don't want you to go overboard and overdo with that. It is very, very light. It's just a slow and gentle increase in a particular way. Okay, and you'll see that when we get to it. We're going to start off with our normal beginning. So feet roughly shoulder width and parallel. Feet nice and firmly planted on the ground. Feel the triangles of the feet, right? And where your weight is. Rock forward and back. Find the ball of the foot. Find the heel. And find that sweet spot between where everything is active, nothing is tense. Right? Get that fold in the inguinal area. Drop the tailbone down. Get the pelvic floor. And that Hui Yin point here, directly underneath the lower dantian, directly stacked beneath the middle dantian, directly stacked beneath the upper dantian, and aligned to the Bai Hui point at the top of the head. Relax and open the spine. Try to feel from the dantians towards the spine. And feel that space in the back part of the body cavity. And the relationship to the inside of the spine is that front facing side of the spine, the part of your spine that faces your organs. Try to feel that and open it up. Meanwhile, you're keeping a soft buoyancy, an active soft buoyancy here in the qua. Right? Knees aligned with the toes, keeping the weight in the triangle of the feet. We're going to start with just that sinking and rising, very subtle, very soft, and working with our verticality. We're also going to feel these right and left channels, from the Jiajang points right down to the ball and socket joints of the hips, right down to the triangles of the feet and the bubbling well. And then the same right and left channel in the arms, the Laogong point in the center of the palms, all the way through the arms, right into enveloping the middle dantian to front and back, and interfacing with this right and left channel of the torso. Activating those Laogong points in the arms. Now we bring the hands in front of the lower dantian. We want to get that same buoyancy through the whole body. And now we're slowly working towards that idea of the center expanding. We're going to try to let it build a little at a time from the center, feeling the center expand into the dantian, like the center of the dantian is filling, and just there's a pulse in there. Not necessarily coordinated with the breath yet, just getting motion first and breathing naturally. We're going to create this impetus to release from the center out. We're going to release from the center, almost like we're pulling the chi from the center out and flowing through the legs, just creating a good connection from our center to the feet. Activate that pelvic floor. Get that little Qigong action going a little bit, just to activate. Then we're going to do that drawing in, inhaling, letting our awareness go from the bubbling well point and the big toe and the yin channels, from the earth up through the yin channels, right into the pelvic floor, into the dantian, filling and expanding the dantian all the way to the daimai and down the outsides of the legs. Just kind of getting that sort of meridian flow of the lower body, getting the yin, drawing the yin in, releasing the yang down. Letting your awareness move with your movements. Kind of working on the superficial layer. And we're going to slow it down and go a little deeper. Now working with the breath. Less movement. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, on the inhale, we've got that Qigong, that pelvic floor draws up, gathers in, everything gathers into the dantian. On the exhale, we release, but don't completely release the pelvic floor or that Qigong. Just reduce the pressure and let it flow, like you're releasing and down the legs. Now from here, you may get a sense as you're doing that drawing in, that it naturally wants to raise all the way up to the middle dantian, maybe even all the way up to the bai hui. Don't fight that feeling. Don't try to keep it where it is. Just you're going to focus on this part here, but let the rest occur. If you feel like it flows up the middle dantian and releases out from there, let that happen. You may not necessarily, you don't have to move your arms to that level. Our hands are working with the foundational energy. The resultant energy internally is natural to that. So it's going to happen, right? Whether you're noticing it or not, you're kind of pumping that well or priming that well. We're going to go right into a meridian flow. Come up, out through the yin channels of the arms, palms. Up the yang meridians of the arms, back of the hands, back of the forearms, back and tops of the upper arm and shoulder, side of the head, and around and down the yang channels. And back. Now, slow expansion. Outreach to receive. Release.
Okay, well then I should be the best mathematician.
The whole center, just expanding and release. And we're going to reverse that. Now, as we inhale, we're going to draw and condense. As we exhale, we release. Whole body is breathing into the lower dantian and letting it flow internally. And now we're going to bounce. We'll get there. Just playing around with different inclinations of movement. Try to help move what I'm feeling internally. Work with the right and left channels. And counter swing. And column swing. I add my first TaoYin element into this. So as I'm working with that expansion, I really want to work with that spiral moving up the right and left channels, but I want to really work with that sense of extending. I want to feel like the tissues are being elongated, right? With a little bit more energetic extension from the feet all the way through. There's a slight isometric kind of compression and expansion. So I'm trying to just pull, like create enough energy that the joints feel like they're getting some space. And the tissue around it is feeling like it's twisting and ringing, spiraling with the action. But I'm grounded. Shoulders are down, I'm extending down through the earth, rooting the upward energy in the down. And then the same thing here. This drawing in, it's like I'm gathering and pulling down, right? And my extension up is counterbalancing down and back. Yin and yang. When I'm going down, I'm going up. When I'm going up, I'm going down. Now relax, let it swing again. Nice and loose now. I've still got right and left channels making that rotation, but I'm just letting it be loose. And we're going to go from this swinging, column swing into counter column swing. Always rooted. Getting just a little bit of that TaoYin extension. Now I can really focus on like how each is different because they're not both working together. Now one's moving, turning in and back and down, while the other one's turning out, open and up. And so I can focus on the out, open and up first, just letting myself feel that alternation between the two. And here I'm even trying to get that twisting rotation all the way into the elbow first and then out, so that my elbow is actually even slightly inside my wrist. And this is just to loosen the shoulder. And if you come to the center line, and you've got an extra twist in there. Then we can give our attention to the back. And notice how this drives the turn a little bit. This inward and downward twist really can drive power, while the other one's yin or yang, right? So the yang energy is actually a result and supported by the yin energy of the backhand. And we relax and let them both naturally flow, more even. And you turn the palms towards you here. Maybe you let them turn out. And a dragon claw. All of these are being generated by these subtle changes of the lower dantian and its relationship to the right and left channels and the resultant spiraling forces that come out of it.
I know, I'm trying to get them to actually all work together. One of them to share their screen.
I can work on the grounding by doing that extension up and then letting the whole thing roll in and down.
I thought you said one.
And close. Little Ling Kong Jing. and up to the chest bone, middle Dutch.
Yeah, but you got it wrong. Yeah, 200 plus 100 is 300. 100 plus 200. 300, there's no way. Good 300. Like 400. See, man, just. Oh gosh. Oh god.
And then upper dantian, turning the palms inward. And down. And reverse.
Got the big square.
down chin. And upper down chin. And close. Hands, wrists, and fingers. Other way. Elbows. Other way. And shoulders. body breathing, meridian breathing from the ears. And reverse with the shoulders.
We only made it 2 seconds live because we had trouble doing that. Yeah, I'm really happy. Finish the bottom.
So you may be wondering what the hand warmers are about. It just occurred to me that this is a teaching moment here. So because I was doing postal work, doing deliveries, you have this window open, right? This was during the day it was snowing. So it's cold and wet, and you can't really wear a glove on your right hand because you've got to kind of thumb through the mail and everything, right? And then put it in the box as you're driving through. So this side tends to get cold in the channel, right? It's very easy to get cold damp into your channels, particularly around your hands, particularly if you're going to be in cold damp environment, and that starts to invade and affect the channels. And I noticed, it's getting a little stiffer, So I used a liniment. One of my favorite liniments is actually created by a friend of mine by the name of Hugh Turcotte. It's called The Red Emperor's Immortal Flame. And he got it from his uncle, who was also my first teacher, Tom Turcotte. Before I even met Dr. Hua, Tom Turcotte was my very first introduction to all of this material: Qigong, Tai Chi, Chinese medicine, all of it. And then from him, I was introduced to the school where I met Dr. Hua, and he and I developed a relationship. Anyways, I still learned quite a bit from Tom in the few short years I had a chance to interact with him. And so I have tremendous respect for him and respect for his herbal knowledge. And he passed this herbal formula, which he had gotten from one of his teachers in China, to his nephew, who is also a master herbalist in Chinese medicine, having been inspired by his uncle and apparently myself. He decided to pursue Chinese medicine and became a wonderful practitioner, one of the very best. And if you're ever interested, he's in the Westford, Chelmsford area. If you want to get in contact with him, you can always send me a message and I'll put you in contact with him. But anyways, he sells a formula that he asked me actually to do the artwork on the label for, called Red Emperor's Immortal Flame. And it's a wonderful liniment. It's topical use only. And what I do is I work it into the channels of my hands and fingers. And then I encase them in something to drive the heat even more deeply in to drive out the cold in the channels. Got to tell you, it's wonderful, working absolutely wonderful. And if you have troubles with joint pain or muscle stiffness in your arms, and it's exacerbated by cold and cold damp, it's something called B syndrome in Chinese medicine, which is wind, cold, damp invading the channels and obstructing the free flow of qi. This is a wonderful method of driving the cold from the channels. So if you're interested, you can always message me and I can put you in contact where you can get some of that. It's what I use. I have some other formulas. I have a Ditta formula, which is a iron hitting formula, but I find that that one's much better for actual injuries, bruises and contusions, where this one is better for muscle aches and pains that come from just stagnation and obstruction. All right. So after opening the shoulders and chest, we go to trunk twists. Make sure I'm not going to knock that screen. So we're turning from the center, trunk twist, and patting the right and left channels as we go up, back, and forth. Working our way up the body. And the Jiajang points. Just below the collarbone, stimulating the thymus, the thyroid, the center of the chest. You can do light touch with the fingertip, just hitting that Shen Chu point, center of the chest. Solar plexus. Working my way back down to lower dantian. And patting the daimai. And the hua and hips. Down the outsides of the legs, down the gallbladder channel and along the sides. Up the liver channel on the inside. The stomach channel on the front outside. Spleen channel, mid and front inside. Bladder channel down the back of the legs. And kidney channel on the inside back of the legs. And circling the daimai, waist rotation. Other way. And bring our awareness down to the ball and socket joints, the hips, widen the feet, draw open, pull the ball and socket joint open, and circle that hip. Other way. Other side. The other way. And alternating first, both kind of working together. Other way. And alternating. ankle and hip. The other way. And foot and ankle. Other way. Brushing the grass. Other way. Behind. And the other way. Leg up and out. Out to the side. And I don't think I have enough room back. And behind. Center line straight up and down. Sit down. Up. Leg up. Back. And when the knee goes back, the hip is going to go forward. Around. Extend down, extend out, and turn. Shake it out. Other side, ankle and hip. Other way. Foot and ankle. Other way. Brushing grass. Other way. Behind. Other way. Now. Out to the side. And back. Behind. So I try to get my spine nice and long and tall. And then turn. Try too hard. Knee back, hip forward. Out and around. And shut down. Straighten the legs. Press the knees back. Lift the sacrum. Support the core. Flatten the back. Take your time. Work your way down. Try to release at each stage. The whole time I've got this isometric extension. I'm working with the right and left channels and all the muscles that surround it to elongate everything, both down and up and out. And I'm breathing my release to release the tension and the stagnant chi. And as it releases, I follow the release lower and lower. Turn to one side. Turn to the other side. Two dragons circle the pond. Squat stance. And final stretch. And roll the spine up, bottom to top. Swimming dragon body TaoYin. Now let's loose up and back, forward and back. In. Remember, everything's rotating in, out, in, out, in, out, in, and out. Then in and up, out, in, down, out, in, compress, out, and up, in, and out. Again, in, out, in, in, out. One more. And relax. And close. That's all we have time for today. As I have a Zoom class to go prepare for as well. So thank you guys very much for joining me this morning, for sticking with it, coming back even though I've taken a little hiatus. I see that there have been some of you watching, and I appreciate that. As often as I can, I'm going to be doing this. Trying to do every Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll see during the holidays, the schedule may not allow that. The post office, they may need my help. They do a lot of packages this time of year, and it can overwhelm the individual carrier. So again, thank you for your patience. If you wish to continue to support me, you can go to my Patreon page and become a patron. That's patreon.com/Occidental Taoist. You can also make a donation on my coffee page. That's ko-fi.com/Occidental Taoist. And of course, I have live streams both here and on Facebook. And that's facebook.com. You guessed it, Occidental Taoist. And thank you again. And may you have a wonderful day. Sure. Thank you very much.
You can